Ever catch yourself staring at your grown kids, those same little ones you rock to sleep, taught to tie their shoes, and feel a sting when they brush you off? Maybe they roll their eyes at your advice, cut you off mid-sentence, or worse, act like you're a chore they'd rather skip. You've spent decades pouring your heart into them. Sleepless nights, scraped knees, endless I love yous. And now it's like they've forgotten who held their world together. I've been there watching my mom, 69, shrink a little every time my brother snapped at her, and it hit me hard. Respect doesn't stick around just because you earned it once. It fades, and that hurts like hell. Today we're diving into 5 powerful ways to flip that script when your kids don't respect you. Stuff I wish I'd told mom sooner. Moves that don't need shouting or guilt trips, just quiet strength. These aren't quick fixes. They're shifts that rebuild your place in their eyes, brick by brick. I've seen it go wrong, missed the signs with folks I love, and I'm spilling those scars so you don't have to bleed the same. Stick with me to the end. There's a twist in the 5th way that flipped how I see family, plus a story that still chokes me up, showing you how to stand tall and win back what's yours. This isn't about fighting, it's about rising. Hit that like button. It keeps this real talk alive. Not subscribed? Click it, tap the bell. Don't miss out. Love this? Drop a 1 below. Not feeling it? A 0 keeps me honest. Got a kid's story, good or rough? Share it. I'm here, let's roll. Ever find yourself tiptoeing around your own house, cooking that pot roast they love, skipping your evening walk to watch their kids, all for a half-hearted thanks that never comes? I watched my Aunt Clara, 72, do this dance, her gray hair tied back, hands trembling as she hauled groceries for her son's last minute. "Can you?" She'd grin through it, saying, "He'll see how much I care." But he didn't. He'd grab the bags, mutter "cool," and leave her standing there, shoulders sagging like she'd failed some test. I'd sit with her after, sipping tea, thinking, he'll get it one day. Nope, the more you beg for their nod, the less they give a damn, and that truth cuts deep. It's not just Clara. A 2021 Psychology Today article I stumbled on says it cold. People respect what's scarce, not what's handed over like loose change. She'd cancel her plan on doctor visits, coffee with friends, to fit his whims, loaning cash she couldn't spare, nodding when he barked orders. "I just want him close," she'd whisper, voice cracking, but he'd call less, talk down more. "Clara, chill, it's fine." Her eyes dimmed, that spark I loved fading, and I'd kick myself. Why didn't I say stop running? She was teaching him her worth was a doormat, and he walked all over it. I'd see her stare out the window, lost, waiting for a pat on the head that never landed. Broke my heart every time. Here's the shift. Quit begging. Say no when your gut screams it. Keep that walk. Skip the roast if it's too much. Speak up. "I'm not your maid, hun." Calm, clear, no groveling. I wish I'd grabbed Clara's hand, marched her to her chair and said, "You're enough, let him figure it out." She didn't, lost her voice instead, a shadow where a lion once roared. If your kids brush you off, don't chase their approval. Value yourself first. Stand tall, not bent, and they'll start looking up. Slow but sure. Trust me, I've seen it slip away when you don't. You know that itch when your daughter cuts you off? Dad enough. Or your son smirks at your "I've been there" advice. I've watched my Uncle Pete, 70, feel it. Face red, voice booming as he tried to hammer respect into his girl. "I paid your tuition, damn it!" he'd bellow, fist clenched, while she'd roll her eyes, sip her coffee, and I'd shrink in the corner. Same old fight, no winner. Yelling's a siren song. It feels good till you see it's a dead-end street. A 20 Journal of Family Psychology study I dug into says it's sharp. Arguing digs a hole. Calm presence fills it. Pete'd list his sacrifices, late shifts, car loans, voice cracking, desperate to prove he mattered. She'd yawn, "Okay, Dad," and he'd slump, defeated. I'd think, he'll get through. Wrong. Then he flipped it. One Sunday, she snapped mid-story. He didn't bite. Leaned back, sipped his tea, said, "I'll talk when you're ready," and walked to his garden. She blinked, mouth open. His silence hit like a brick. Weeks later, she asked, "What's your take on this job?" Voice nodding, eyes curious. He didn't win by shouting, he won by standing still. I should have pulled him aside years back. "Pete, drop the noise, it's drowning you." He learned late, but it stuck. Anger hands them power. Quiet takes it back. If they disrespect you, don't spar. Nod, step away, speak when it's calm. I've seen Mom try it. My brother froze when she didn't yell back. Strength's in silence. They'll feel it, then follow. Ever sit by the phone, heart thumping, waiting for it to buzz, or dial your kid just to hear "can't talk now"? My grandma Rose, 74, lived that, fingers hovering over the keypad, calling my cousins, voice wobbly with, "Miss you, come by." They'd grunt, "Busy," and she'd sink into her rocker, clutching that old phone like it was her lifeline. I'd watch, gut twisting. She was pouring her soul into a bucket with the holes, and I didn't stop it. A 22 Aging and Mental Health piece I read says it plain. Leaning on kids for your shine shifts the scales. They pull back when you pull too hard. Rose'd beg, "5 minutes, please," and they'd dodge, her need a weight they didn't want. She'd cry to me, "They don't care," and I'd hug her, thinking, "They'll call." Nope, they drifted more, her pleas a chain around their necks. Then she turned it, ditched the phone, grabbed yarn, joined a knitting circle, laughed loud, came home rosy. Cousins noticed. One rang, "You good, Gran?" She chuckled, "Better than good." They started popping in, drawn to her glow, not her grip. I should have pushed her out that door years ago. If they're cold, don't cling. Cut those strings, lean on you. I've tried it. Stopped texting my sister first. Picked up a book instead. She called, curious, "Where you at?" Rose's tears taught me. Need chases them off. Strength pulls them back. Stand alone and they'll step closer. Ever let a whatever mom slide or a barked "hurry up" go unchecked, figuring it's not worth the dust up? I saw my neighbor, Mr. Lou, 68, do it. Kids cutting him off, ordering him around like he's a butler, not a dad. He'd fetch tools, fix their sink, mumble, "They're stressed," while his jaw tightened, eyes flicking with hurt he wouldn't name. I'd stand there thinking, he'll say something, but he didn't, and they kept stomping. A 21 Harvard Business Review article I found spells it out. No boundaries, no respect. People push till you push back. Lou'd jump at their calls, drop his coffee, run errands, till one day his son snapped, "Faster, Dad, come on." Lou froze, set the wrench down, said, "I'm not your errand, talk right or I'm done." Dead quiet. The kid blinked, stammered, "Sorry, didn't mean it." Lou held firm, no respect, no help. Next time the son asked, "Can you fix this, please?" Voice low, eyes on him. Took weeks, but they learned Lou's line wasn't a bluff. I wish I'd told him sooner. Lou, they'll walk if you don't stand. If they cross you, draw it, calm, steel sharp. I don't take that tone. Hold it. No bending, no excuses. My mom tried it. Brother snapped. She walked off. He called back, softer. Lou's clenched jaw taught me limits aren't walls. They're doors to respect. Ever feel like your kids are your whole sky? Days spinning around their calls, their moods, their lives. I watch my mom, 69, orbit mine, sitting by the window, waiting for my text, fading when I didn't reply. You're my everything, she'd say, and I'd nod. Didn't see her shrink till my brother brushed her off. I've got my own stuff. She wilted, a flower with no sun, and I missed it till too late. A 23 gerontology study I dug up says it clear. Seniors with their own pulse get seen. Mom found that out. She quit hovering, grabbed a brush, painted wild reds, strolled the park with pals. Came home humming, eyes bright. My brother caught it. "What's with the art?" he asked, brow up. "My thing," she grinned, no cling in her voice. He texted later, "Show me your next one." First time he'd asked in years. She wasn't just mom now, she was a woman with fire, and we looked up. I should have shoved that brush in her hands sooner. Empty nests don't trap, they free. If they don't see you, live louder. Paint, dance, breathe your air. I tried it, ditched waiting, hit the gym. Sister called, "You're different it." Mom's will taught me, build your world, and they'll orbit yours. Let's crack open the raw stuff. 3 folks who showed me these moves the hard way. Mrs. Jean, 73, my old piano teacher. She'd leap for her daughter, baking pies, driving hours, voice soft when brushed off. "Keeps us close," she'd say. Wrong, her girl snapped. "Stop smothering." And Jean shrank. I brought her tea once, saw her eyes dim. Should have said, "Quit chasing." She didn't. Respect slipped till she was a ghost in her own home. Jean taught me, bend too far, you break. Then Mr. Sam, 71, down the block. Big laugh, big heart. His sons ignored his tales, talked over him. He'd yell, "I raised you." They'd laugh, he'd stew. I'd watch, helpless, till he stopped. One day a son cut in. Sam leaned back, said, "Go on, I'm good." Calm as stone. They stared, then softened, started asking his thoughts. I should have told him. Silence beats noise. Sam's quiet one. Last, Aunt Dot, 75, she'd call us daily, lonely, begging for crumbs. We'd dodge. She'd cry on him. Then she joined a dance class, twirled, glowed, stopped, dialing. I rang her stunned. "You're busy?" She laughed. "Damn right." We chased her after, respect flipped fast. I wish I'd seen her cage. Freedom's her crown now. So what's the pulsing core of all this? When your kids ditch respect, dismissing you with a flick of the wrist, snapping like you're a pesky fly, forgetting the decades you carried them through, it's not some brick wall you can smash down with a sledgehammer of guilt or tears. It's a mirror, cold and clear, reflecting back what you let slide, what you didn't hold tight. These 5 ways: valuing yourself like you're gold, not gravel, silencing the fight with a steady gaze, cutting those heartstrings that tie you too tight, drawing lines in the sand they can't cross, living wide like the sky's your canvas. They don't grovel at their feet. They stack bricks under yours, lifting you up where you belong. I missed it with Jean. Her fade into silence still haunts me. Those dim eyes staring past me as I handed her tea. Sam's roar shaking the room till it fell flat. I should have seen it flop. Dots cling, her voice trembling on the line. I let it scream before I heard the whisper. A 23 AARP survey I dug up says it's stark. 75% of seniors feel this drift, this slow slide from pillar to shadow. Numbers wrapping around my regrets like a hug I don't deserve. It's not their job to hoist you back. It's yours to climb, to rise, to claim what's faded. Respect isn't a ribbon they pin on you for good behavior. It's a fire you stoke, slow and sure, with your own hands. Quit chasing their nods. Let them wonder where you went when you stop running. Stand steady, drop the shouts, let your quiet fill the room like a storm they can't ignore. Lean solo, cut the chords, find your spark in a book or a breeze, not their call. Draw lines, say not here with steel in your spine. Make them feel the edge. Live big, paint your days bold, laugh loud with strangers. Let them see a life that doesn't orbit theirs. I learned this late with Aunt Clara. Her hunched back still cuts me when I think of the yeses I didn't stop. Uncle Pete's red face, Grandma Rose's tears. I watched them sink, wishing I'd yelled, "Stand up," sooner. Small moves aren't small. Their roots digging deep, holding you firm when the winds of their indifference blow. This is the heart of it. Know the drift, shift the mirror, earn it all. Jean's lost glow, Sam's stone calm, Dot's wild twirl. They're scars I carry, lessons I bleed. What grabbed you today? Jean's tea going cold, Sam's sip mid-storm, Dot's dance in the dusk. Drop it below, I'm listening, ear wide. Try it, say no once, hold your tongue. Step into your own light, tell me how it lands. Love this, toss a one and share. Light someone's climb. Not your beat? A zero keeps me sharp. Hit subscribe, tap the bell. Let's age fierce, not frail, heads high. Catch you next time. Stand tall, stoke the fire, own every inch of your worth.